This is The Recap, a weekly reflection on the sermons of Fellowship Baptist Church in Maineville, Ohio, seeking to help you make Jesus essential in every aspect of your life. I'm your host, Ryan Land, and I'm here with the preacher of this week's sermon, Brent Wilson. Welcome back, Brent.
Hello, Ryan.
I need a new thing. I say welcome back every week.
Yeah.
I need a new
Just welcome.
Welcome.
Glad
welcome,
you're
Brent.
here.
How you doing, Brent?
Are you glad I'm here?
Glad you're here, Brent.
Glad you're
welcome
here.
Welcome to the studio. Welcome to the studio, Brent Wilson. But we'll workshop it out.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. Apologies to some public comments that were made on Spotify about not talking about football. But we're gonna talk about football.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Because there's really no good icebreaker question that relates to the story of Hosea. I'll just put it out there. It's, not a plethora of options. So here's my.
If God asked you to marry a promiscuous woman,
there you go.
Would you?
I was gonna be like, what's the craziest thing you ever been dared to do? And I was like, I don't know if I want to go down that path with Brent.
Dark path.
It's like I'm scared of what to put out on the airwaves of the internet. So I'm just gonna ask you about football. All right, we are tomorrow. We're recording this on a little late. We're recording this on Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday. That means 1 week away from the National Football League kickoff. Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles Thursday Night Football. So sign Micah, pay Micah.
What?
Pay Micah.
Parsons. Oh, I was like, what?
I'm putting it out there on the church podcast. Jerry Jones, if you're listening, you're not. Pay Micah. So hashtag pay Micah. All right. Give me your AFC, NFC championship predictions, and then who's making it to the Super Bowl.
Well, I know I got my Super Bowl prediction, so I got to work back.
Wait, work back. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Okay, AFC championship, I will say is Bills.
Yep.
Bengals.
Would love that. There's no losers in that situation.
Yeah, Bills, Bengals.
No Chiefs.
Nope, they're gonna.
No Ravens.
They're losing to the Bengals or the Bills in the round before.
I think they may lose to like the Broncos or something.
Yeah.
The Raiders, my sneak team this year.
And then NFC will be Lions. Lions.
Commanders. Eagles.
I can't go Eagles. They ran
Jameis Winston led New York Giants.
No, I'll probably
Seahawks.
No, I'll go
Panthers.
We could only wish. I'll go Lions. I'll go Commanders. Lions, Commanders.
Yeah.
And then I'll think the Super Bowl will be Lions, Bills.
You don't think the Bengals are going this year?
I think they'll lose in the.
I don't know that they'll make it to the. I have no faith in the defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I've got Lions in the AFC or NFC Championship for sure. I think this might be the Bills. This might be the Bills' time. I just don't know. I'll say NFC Lions. Yeah, it's boring to pick the Eagles, but I kind of think they will make it because they're just really good. I'll say Bills Baltimore AFC Championship.
Yeah,
and Lions Eagles NFC Championship with a Lions Ravens Super Bowl. There's my pick. God, I don't know. No, I think I'll go Lions Bills. I think I'll go the same. I'll copy you.
All right.
Because I don't think Lamar can do it. I think he'll choke.
He's choke. He can't pass the ball.
Gosh, who might be the sleeper? Like I think the Seahawks might actually be pretty good. I don't know if they're going to be like
the Broncos. I think are a sleeper.
Yeah. But like last year, like no one was predicting the Commanders would go to the NFC Championship. It's like, well, we have that this year.
Yeah. Also, I think the Texans could be good.
Yeah, maybe. Like I don't want to get too in. It's like, what's their run game like? Joe Mixon, like
no,
isn't he hurt?
They've got in front of Joe Mixon.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Interesting. Maybe. What about the Bears? The Bears gonna be good this year. Ben Johnson. Brent is down on the Bears. What about the Packers? Go Pack, go.
Nope.
What if they trade Micah Parsons to the Packers? What about then?
Maybe. What do you think
The Cowboys' record will
the
be
Steelers with Aaron Rodgers?
terrible. If he plays 6 games, I'll be impressed.
Okay. Who's their backup?
I
I don't even know.
Me neither. I have zero idea.
No.
He's so old.
He's not older than Tom Brady was.
Yeah, but I don't. Tom Brady never tore his Achilles like on the first play of the game, the third play of the game, or whatever. You know, that just puts some age on you.
Yeah,
and he just looks older.
He does.
You know, Tom Brady is kind of like eternally youthful.
Well, he's got that diet, that TB12 diet.
I don't even know what that is. It's like the Daniel diet.
No, it's
like
the Tom Brady
fast?
12 diet. I don't know.
What is it?
I don't know.
Can you buy it online?
I'm sure. I don't know what he eats.
Man, I should get on that. I'll get on the TB12.
Like Tom
diet.
Brady looks better now than he does when he was drafted.
Oh, for sure he does. He's got more money now.
Yeah,
You can pay for that kind of stuff.
I guess so.
All right. Well, let's talk about the Bible.
Let's
talk about Hosea.
Hosea.
What?
Huh?
That's what it is.
I know. What?
Nothing. I thought you were about to say something and you didn't say it, and so it's fine. I need to move on from it. Okay. Hosea, a very odd book, an often neglected book, I would say. Why? So there's there's a multitude of minor prophets. Why Hosea among the 3 you picked?
I have just historically and particularly liked Hosea. It's like Jonah in that it is unique amongst the minor prophets. So when you think of the minor prophets, you often think they're kind of all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Guy comes, hey, y'all bad, kind of like Judges. It's like y'all bad, stop being bad, repent, or God's going to blow you up.
Yeah.
And Jonah's unique in the minor prophets. Hosea is unique. And so that's why. I mean, that's kind of part of the reason. And then it's just like, I just think the message of it is just particularly insightful around the idea that our sin is and our idolatry. Well, it's kind of like 3 steps. It's like we have sin. That sin is actually idolatry underneath it. And then idolatry is actually understood as spiritual adultery. So you go these layers deeper.
Yeah.
And so I think that's fascinating. And also just think it's just a great picture of the gospel.
Yeah.
So
No, I think that's great. I think all those things are true, and I think all those things were evident in the sermon. So your first point, kind of overall, was our relationship with God is like a marriage. So expand on that. How do we see that in Hosea? How does that affect our own relationship with God? And then I also have a follow-up question.
Well, yeah, we see it in Hosea because God is telling Hosea, hey, if you're going to be my prophet, you've got to walk in my shoes before you can understand me and therefore speak for me to my people. And so go get married to this woman because my relationship with Israel is like a marriage. And that's not the first time. That doesn't come out of nowhere. That is mentioned. I read a couple verses from Isaiah. There's a long passage in Ezekiel. I think it's Ezekiel 19, if memory serves. Maybe 32, somewhere in there. But where there's this whole illustration of like basically this king or this prince, this royal person finds this baby in a ditch. That it's like it was the picture of it. It's like it was born and just left there. And that he rescued it, helped it grow, it's like the language, like I put a ring in its nose, in her nose, and he made her beautiful and then married her. But then that girl has now run off to other lovers. And so you have that basically the same point of Hosea, but in Ezekiel. And so you obviously see it in Genesis 2 with Adam and Eve. Ephesians 5 makes that point, pointing back to that. That this is emblematic and it's pointing to something greater. So you really just see it sprinkled throughout the Bible that our relationship to God is like a marriage, and marriage itself being the thing that points to our relationship with God is the greater thing. Marriage is really the signpost.
Now, would you say that is individual or corporate?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Both.
Okay. Explain.
I think primarily individually, in our unique relationship with God, but then corporately in the sense that the church is referred to. Actually, it's never referred to as the bride of Christ, but is referred to
like Jesus is compared, like in Ephesians 5, right?
Yeah, like
Husbands love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave
Yeah.
himself up for her, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a correlation, at least, between the two.
Yeah. So
New Jerusalem comes adorned like a bride.
Yeah. So I think individually first, but some of that biblical language talks about the whole, but the whole was made up of individuals.
Yeah. So how are we to then? This is what I just found myself thinking about listening to this part of the sermon. How are we then to think about, like, in what ways is our relationship with God like a marriage? Because there are also other relationship, like our relationship with God is also defined in other relational terms,
like father-child relationship.
Yeah. And so in what ways is it? Because obviously not in all ways like a marriage, because there are other ways it is like a child and a parent, and so there's distinction between those.
Mm-hmm.
And so in what ways is our relationship with God like a marriage?
I would say in the ways
like more specific, like in specificity,
in intimacy and priority, and as Tim Keller puts it, in life-giving potency. So it's the most intimate of relationships, closeness. I would say like even sex inside of marriage is that's the closest, most intimate you get with somebody, and you're vulnerable with that person. And that is a picture of the sort of relationship God wants and the intimacy God wants. Priority, it's like, hey, this takes precedent above all other things, in the same way that marriage does. And then life-giving potency in the sense that when your spouse speaks truth to you or says something kind to you, like it has the power to change your life, right? Like I talked about that a little bit. And so primarily those three ways, maybe some other ways, but those ones come to mind.
Okay. Because I also think, what do you think about this? I think specifically among women, there is a tendency, and I think among young women particularly, there can be a tendency to be like, well, I don't need to like be in a romantic relationship. I'm like dating Jesus, or I'm like finding, I think, what is a fulfillment that needs to be met in potentially a spouse, a husband. They're like kind of shifting that desire or that need onto God. What would you kind of say? It's like, I think you can almost take this too far. This, like, my relationship with God is like my marriage. It's like nuns, right? And it's like, I'm married to the Lord. There's some movie where they like,
yeah. No, that's a tricky question. Let me tweak this a little bit. I don't know that it's taking it too far as it is almost perverting. That's kind of an intense word, but like distorting it. In the sense that like, yes, this is the type of relationship we want with God, but the marriage is pointing to it. And so like experiencing marriage is pointing to that greater thing. It's not replacing. It's not like, oh, well, instead of getting married, I'm just going to have that with God. It's like, no, the things here are pointing to a greater reality. And so it's like a marriage. It's not marriage. And so I do think it's silly is the word I want to use. When girls and boys have done this too, where they're like, Jesus is my boyfriend kind of stuff. And I think it's just more of an immature response. And usually is accompanied by some sort of baggage, like they're not wanting to date. Therefore this is kind of like their way out of that or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that more often than I do.
I would say potentially. It's like, but I mean, I literally opened Instagram the other day and 3 videos in was this like young, girl with like millions of followers being like, well, on my date with Jesus today, like, here's what happened. And I'm like, what are you talking about, girl?
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's where
stuff
it's like
stuff like that was kind of ringing in the background while I was thinking about this point.
It's so interesting. Like I've just made fun of that for so long, and I don't see it anymore, really. And so I feel like it just doesn't happen as much. Because I feel like that was kind of a thing when I was in youth group.
Yeah, no, I think there is a distinction to be made between what you're saying, like the nerdy, kid and boy in youth group or whatever comes up and is like, hey, God told me, we're supposed to be married, and you're like, well, I'm just like dating Jesus right now. Like, there's a distinction, I think, between that and then I think kind of this like more romantic language that's being used for our spiritual, like our relationship with God. I think they're almost two different. No, because I think a lot of our music too, and sometimes use this sort of romantic language that can, like if you just subbed your
lover of my soul,
if you just like subbed in your boyfriend's name every time it said Jesus, it's like it would sound the same. It would sound like a Taylor Swift song. Yeah, so
yeah. Well, and I wouldn't advocate the using of this like I'm dating Jesus. I went on a date with Jesus. It's like, no, you don't do that. That's not a thing. And so
Jesus is courting me.
This is what I'm trying to communicate when I say that marriage is a thing that is pointing to a greater thing. It doesn't mean you steal or rob the terms that we use around dating and marriage and apply them to God. So it's not a 1-for-1. It's a signposting. It's like this.
Yeah.
But it's greater than
it's
this.
Like we actually learn and experience who God is, what God is like, and how we relate to God through these other things.
Yeah.
Like they're vehicles. Like we were talking about the other day, how like pumpkin pies, it's actually just a vehicle for whipped cream.
That is not true though.
Someone said, I think Darcy said that. It's like, she's like, pumpkin pie is just a vehicle for whipped cream.
I don't even put whipped cream on my pumpkin pie.
Really?
Yeah.
You eat it dry?
Yeah.
Whoa. That's crazy. But okay. But like, I think pumpkin pie is good.
Yeah, me too.
But I also think whipped cream is good.
Yeah.
And so it's like, even if I think whipped cream's better, the vehicle is also still good.
Sure. Yeah.
And so it's like, I think that's the idea. It's like the marriage and like peer to human relationship leading to marriage, like is good.
Yeah.
And it shows us, and we experience more of who God is.
I almost think it's an issue of, and this happens anytime we use an illustration, that if you push the illustration too far, it crumbles. And so when you have taken the illustration of that a relationship with God is like a marriage to the point of that you are functionally treating it like an actual marriage, you've taken the illustration too far.
Yeah.
The illustration is pointing to something. It's not the thing in itself.
Yeah. So that's why we're just curious about because it does seem like particularly Hosea and maybe some of these other references in the New Testament is more about the corporation, the corporate, sure, of Israel, or then the church, or just Israel again, if you're a dispensationalist. So I was just curious about that, because you're right. It's like, well, what does it mean, for God to be exhibiting marriage to the group? Yeah. If it doesn't mean anything to the individuals, and so
it's interesting. I've seen some people try to use the same logic on other things, and it's like, well, it is the case for the whole, but not for the individual. And it's like, well, but the whole's made up of individuals, so it has to be both in a sense.
For sure. So I was just curious what you thought about the relationship between those things. So then let's talk about it's not just like a marriage. It's like a broken marriage.
Yeah.
I was giggling because I noticed the capital marriage in your notes here.
Oh, yeah. So someone asked me, was there a reason that marriage was capitalized in this one and not the other ones? And I told this person, I just have this condition of indiscriminate capitalization. And so I capitalize things when it feels right. And
you have ICS.
Yeah.
Indiscriminate capitalization syndrome.
And Josh is supposed to catch my errors. And
but he maybe he didn't know. Maybe he thought Brent's trying to make some grand theological point.
He trusted me.
It's like there's a lower C church,
Yeah,
capital
yeah,
C
yeah.
church, lower C Catholic, capital C Catholic,
Yeah.
lower M marriage, capital M
Yeah.
marriage could mean something different.
Yeah.
So that's what I was giggling at.
One of my weaknesses, one of my many weaknesses is grammar. And so
I would say it's a little bigger than many.
that weakness is bigger than my, what'd you say?
I meant like MINI.
Oh,
It's like one of your many weaknesses.
it's small. No, one of my plethora of weaknesses is grammar. And so
Plethora.
whenever you see a grammar issue on the screen, it was my fault and someone else didn't catch me. So I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
I went to Bible college. We didn't do grammar or math.
You did Greek grammar.
Yeah.
In which
I'm honestly better at Greek grammar than English.
There's no punctuation.
Yeah. I'm way
That's
better
so
at that
funny.
grammar than English grammar.
No comma splices or anything in Greek.
You know how I was taught in school how to use a comma?
No, tell me.
When you needed to take a breath.
That's terrible, man.
That's what I was taught.
North Carolina public education right there.
It's bad.
Wow. Okay, well, let's talk about idolatry.
Yeah.
So you gave these. I'm going to give these all up front, and we can kind of break them down as we want. But you kind of gave all these different. It's almost like perspectives on what idolatry kind of looks like. So you talked about it's mixed up. It's more than mixed up priorities. Well, let's actually talk about this first, kind of individually. He said idolatry is more than mixed up priorities. It's spiritual adultery. How do we think of idolatry as just mixed up priorities? Good catch.
Thanks. My phone fell in my pocket.
And then how is it actually a bigger deal relating to our spiritual life than we want to admit? Does that make sense?
No, ask it again. So I got distracted by my phone falling out of my pocket.
Yeah. So how do we wrongly? I think we hear idolatry and we assume it's just like, my priorities are mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the assumption sometimes. So how is it more than that?
Because, when I was first being taught what idolatry was in youth group, it was very surface level. Hey, don't make TV, and if you're watching too much TV and not reading your Bible, TV's an idol.
Yeah, anything you do more than a spiritual thing is
yeah.
an idol. Yeah, I've heard that.
And so, and that may be like on the path to figuring them out, maybe. But the question is, okay, what is an idol? Well, an idol is historically a statue representing a deity, a god, and you have people worshiping these gods. Now, in the Old Testament, particularly in the ancient world, these idols were to gods of particular things. God of fertility, the god of, which we often think is
harvest.
Yeah, but when we think of fertility, we often think that's like babies, which it is. But it's also like the rain. Yeah. Right? And so it's like, we're in a drought and we need it to rain for our crops. What do? Well, let's go sacrifice and pray to the fertility god to get rain. So you have gods of these things. And so you placed your hope in the particular God to get this thing that's going to save you, right? I need food. I need the rain to grow the food, to eat the food, to live. And so it's going to deliver me, or, whatever God of whatever thing, if it's love, it's Cupid, right? I want to fall in love. So, God, the Cupid is going to help me out. Whatever the case may be. And so, For us, we don't have statues that we're bowing down to, but that doesn't mean we don't have idols. The sin that we're committing, the sin is, let's say this is the top level, right? It's the ground. But if we unearth it a little bit and go deeper, the roots are exposing the God, who's not really a God because we don't think any other gods exist, but the metaphorical God that we are worshiping. And so it is maybe the God of relationships. I think this was my idol for a while. When I was in college, I saw all my friends getting married, and I thought, man, if I could get married, I'd be happy. And so my sin was dating a girl who probably wasn't a believer, and I was kind of justifying that in my mind, and it was just unwise to date this person. But what was beneath that sin was the idol of relationships, the God of relationship, that if I could get this, I'd be happy. And so it's not just my priorities were wrong. It's not just a lack of wisdom. It's not just that I was doing the wrong things. It's that I was serving a God that I believed could deliver on the promise to make me happy.
Yeah. It's like it's the engine of your life.
Yeah.
You know, it's whatever the thing that's motivating
It's the
you.
driver of the sin.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's where you know, it's like you talked about, you know, money, right? It's like money is not in and of itself, you know, rich people aren't, you know, by nature of their richness, sinful.
Money is not the root of all evil.
Yes. That's the love of money. But then also it's like, why, you can even ask the question, why do you love the money?
Yeah. It can be different for different people.
Right.
For some people, it's security. For other people, it's
like pride,
stuff.
like being able to
image,
flash their, you know, Rolex or whatever. And so I think, you know, getting to that, like you're saying, it's like the very root desire that's driving your life. And that's why it's spiritual adultery. It's because your whole self, your spirit, your mind, your body is being driven by a desire that is rooted in something that is not God.
And in the same way that a spouse who cheats on their spouse with someone else, they think, I cannot get from my spouse fulfillment, satisfaction, love, whatever. So I'm going to go to this other source to get that thing.
Yeah.
And so they have this affair. In the same way that you do that, when you run to this idol, this false god, you're saying, I cannot get from God, Yahweh, the things that I need to make me happy. So I'm going to go find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so you throw yourself into the arms of another lover.
So then this is when you kind of give these kind of different perspectives. You say idolatry is when you look at something created for something only the creator can give. So you look to something, you know, relationships, you know, whatever.
Money.
To give yourself to something in a way you should only give yourself to God. I love this one. If I only had blank, then I would be happy. And then what prayer, if left unanswered, would make me seriously consider walking away from God? How can we use those definitions and those questions to, one, help identify our idols, but then also when we identify our idols, how do we then combat, you know, being driven by those idols? Yeah. Because even just knowing doesn't mean you're not going to, you know, still act out of those things. So how do we identify it? And then how do we combat, how we work against it?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the first step is understanding that this is a category at all.
This is so helpful.
A lot of times people think, oh, I know I'm sinning, but I don't really have any idols. And it's like, no, every sin, you know, Martin Luther said, anytime we break one of the 10 commandments, we first break the first commandment, have no other gods before me. And so every time you sin, it's because you're worshiping an idol. Calvin said our hearts are idol factories. So everyone listening to this has idols in their heart. The only question is, do you realize it? And so first begin to think in the category, okay, my sin is exposing an idol. Okay, so then how do I figure out what that is? Well, these are just kind of definitions or prompting questions to begin to help you figure those out. So what is the thing that I feel like I don't have that if I get it, it'll make me happy? And so meditate on that and think about what is that? What am I lacking? Where in my life am I not showing contentment and just joy in the Lord? And it's like, oh, I need this thing.
This is so interesting. Darcy just got a book that she like pre-ordered months ago and was reading me the introduction yesterday. And the title of the book was, I wish I just had a bigger kitchen, or I just wish I had a bigger kitchen. I thought it was a cooking book. Like I thought it was about like, you know, I was like, oh, that sounds fun. And then she read me and it's about contentment. And the author, it talks about how this phrase creeped into her vernacular of, I just wish whatever. And so that's the first chapter of the book, was like, I just wish I had a bigger kitchen.
Yeah.
But that was revealing like where she was finding satisfaction in the things she was just saying. Wishing. It's like, man, I just wish or it's like, even just like, man, I wish that conversation would have gone better. You know, even small stuff. Yeah. And so I thought that was interesting. You know, just like what even is creeping up in your language that is sort of tipping your hand to what you're trying to rest in.
So ask that question and begin to, you got to be honest with yourself and like wrestle with that answer. But then, you know, I think about this question. I think was either Tim Keller or J.D. Greer who asked this. I heard a long time ago. But what
two guys that commonly get mistaken for one another.
they don't. I'm sure J.D. Greer probably stole it from Tim Keller.
Yeah.
But what prayer, if unanswered, would make you seriously consider not believing in God? And if you think about this, it's like, okay, some people, you might say, if my kids were sick and I asked God to heal them and he didn't heal them, I would maybe walk away from the faith. Well, what you're saying in that is your kids matter more to you than God.
Yeah. And your love for God is conditional.
Yeah. And because you're saying, whatever the thing is, you're saying, if God doesn't give me that, I can't serve him. And what you're saying is that thing is more important than God. It's bigger than God. It's more valuable for my satisfaction than God. So that exposes an idol, and one of the interesting things too is that when you figure out what your idol is, you'll begin to see how you sacrifice to it. In the same way that, historically people would come and make offerings and sacrifices to their gods in order to get them to be happy with them, to do things. We do the same thing. The illustration I used about the guy who overworks, right? Yeah. And I said that he sacrificed his family on the altar of his God. It's a contemporary form of child sacrifice. But we all do that, right? We're sacrificing things on that altar, and you ruin them. So I'm just thinking about the kids thing. It's like when your kids are your idol, you don't discipline them because you want them to love you, and you want them to be your best friend, and you want them to think well of you.
You never want them to leave or reject you.
And so you end up ruining them by sacrificing discipline on the altar or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it just destroys everything around you. And so I didn't use this, but one of the other things I think about a lot is idols always promise but never deliver. They promise to make you happy or to satisfy you, to give you whatever, and they never deliver, but you keep believing it. So it doesn't deliver, and you're like, but then they promise again, and you're like, okay.
Or you just shift to and it's like, oh, this didn't work out. And then you just
sometimes you shift to a new one.
To another one, yeah.
But when you're stuck in the same thing, it just keeps re-promising, and you're like, this time I believe it.
Well, and sometimes I think even like it delivers, in a minor, it's just like, oh, if I hit this, amount of money at work.
Yeah.
But then in 2 years, you're going to be like, oh man, that person makes $100,000 more than me. It's like, and then so you get just enough.
Yeah.
That then you're like, you keep pressing in.
Yeah.
But it never is actually never enough. Was it you that used the Henry Ford thing? This was in the sermon. Mm-mm. I think it was when he says how much money is enough.
No, it wasn't Henry Ford. It was one of those
Rockefeller.
Rockefeller.
Yeah, how much money is enough? Just a little bit more.
Yeah. Was it? You were telling me the other day. Was it Jerry Jones or Jimmy Johnson who got the feeling from the national championship?
It was Jerry Jones. Yeah, that so we've been watching the documentary about the Cowboys in the '90s on Netflix. And Jerry Jones has brought up probably once an episode how he won the national championship with the Arkansas Razorbacks as a player in like the 60s or something, and how he's been chasing that high ever since. Yeah. And he has won 3 Super Bowls, like with being the owner and GM of the Dallas Cowboys, and it's not,
can't get there.
He has to keep going back.
Yeah.
I know he hadn't made it in 30 years, so you'd think he'd figure out, hey, try to go find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
But so it's like he's like I'm chasing. He's chasing that feeling of we're the best, and it's like he's done. It's like Tom Brady, did it 3 times and said, "There's got to be more than this," and then did it 4 more times, and still don't think he's found the answer.
Yeah.
So, I think that's. And those are like big, huge, grandiose things. But it's like even in our own lives, it's like, oh, if my kid can make like the top level select baseball team or soccer team or whatever, it's like then like I'll have known all this time and all this money we've put in, that'll be worth it. And it's like, oh, they've got to get a scholarship, and they've got to, whatever. It's just going to keep never being enough.
I had a sports guy tell me the other day that by the time these parents pay for all the stuff to get their kids to be so good and do all this stuff,
they could have paid for college.
Yeah. Yeah. The amount of money they got in a scholarship they would have had if they would have just taken that money, invested it.
Someone told me a number for some of these baseball teams. I'm not trying to run down whatever, but I actually couldn't believe it.
Oh yeah.
So
Big money. Big
yeah,
money.
yeah. So, but the drive, I think, for some of that stuff is the reason the price can keep going up is because of what we're talking about.
Let me get back to your original question.
Yeah.
How do you figure out your idol? Right. So you start asking these questions. I'm gonna. This is just a great example, but it's of my wife, but she's heard me use it a million times. When we were first married, she needed a belt, and so we went to Old Navy, and I stayed in the car for maybe like the baby was in the car or something. I don't remember, but she
Eden as a baby.
So not first married, but a few years in. But so she runs in, get a belt, comes back, no belt. I'm like, did they not have one you liked or something? No, they did. Why didn't you get one? Well, it was $12. I was like, well, did you think it was going to be free? $12 seems like a reasonable amount.
I've never heard this story.
You haven't?
I don't think so.
and so
that's pretty good. Did you think it was going to be free? Keep going.
I'm sorry. And so, but that helped lead to a conversation of like, okay, help me understand, like, what's the issue, right? And so there's something going on there. And me and her have opposite idols. Her idol is money is a security thing. My idol is money is I can get shiny, fun things kind of thing. I can find joy by buying things and enjoying them, and her security. And so she just couldn't bring herself to spend the $12. And we were poor. We were so poor we couldn't buy the OR. We were po. And
Dr. Thunder poor.
Yeah. And so she couldn't bring herself to spend it because of the security element. And so thinking about that and talking, okay, why couldn't you do that? Well, it's just too much money, right? And as you begin to dig down, you go, oh, you think if we have enough money, it'll keep you safe, it'll make you secure, and everything will be okay. And so your idol is security bound up in money. Mm-hmm. And so just following the logic and digging down deep into that, you can begin to see it. And then,
which I think that's a helpful example, because it's not like not buying the belt is not sinful, right?
Yeah.
Like we can even just like question morally neutral decisions, why we decide one way versus the other on something. Mm-hmm. And that even can be revelatory about what our idols are. It doesn't have to be like, you have to drill down on your sin issues. Surely if you do drill down, you'll find on your sin issues, you'll find idols. Mm-hmm. But they can also just reveal itself in normal, everyday decision making. Yeah. I think that's helpful.
And so you can dig down there, you can kind of begin to figure it out. And then you got to put it to death. And you got to put it to death by replacing it.
Yeah.
So when you remove the idol, now there's a void. And what wants to happen is a new idol wants to come take its place. Mm-hmm. And you got to put God in its place. And so you've got to say, my security, in Kate's example, my security doesn't come from money. My security becomes from the God who provides. And keep reinforcing that and believing that and trusting in that. And replace it. If not, something else take its place.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, when I want to buy things, I've learned to do this thing where I'll see something I want, and I want to buy it right now, and I'll walk away, and I'll see if I want it tomorrow, see if I want it next week. And a lot of times I go, it was really just like this dopamine high hit of like, oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun. Let me get that thing. And when I walked away, I realized, oh, I don't actually need it.
Oh yeah.
And so I've had to learn. That's my idol of like, ooh, I can have that joy right now. Give me that little hit. And I have to put it to death by replacing it. I go, you know what? I'm content in the Lord, and that doesn't mean you can't buy things. That's what I'm saying. But my joy.
You don't have to be frivolous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that can lend itself to frivolous spending, because you do get the dopamine hit and the, it's like, oh, it's like, I think clothes can be like this. I think it's like because it makes you feel like it's an identity question.
Yeah. Look like how I look in this shirt.
Yes. Yeah. And so you feel how like
people will see me in this shirt.
Better, a newer, a cleaner person because your shirt, your pants or your shoes, right, are better and cleaner or newer. And your clothes are a reflection of who you are.
Yeah.
And so I think you can put a lot of stock in your outward appearance. And so for guys, that's mostly just clothes. I think for ladies, it's there's lots of other ways that I think can show up. So yeah, I think it just leads. It's not even like necessary. So it also doesn't mean in Kate's thing, don't save money.
Yeah,
it's like it's not about like, so don't do the thing that your idol told you to do. But it's like, do wise things out of the knowledge of who you are in Christ, right?
And the motivation changes.
Yeah. One of the things that was like a diagnostic tool that was kind of used is almost like the reverse of what prayer left unanswered. But it was like, what thing, if you could accomplish it, knowing that all you had to do was like leave Christianity behind, would you what accomplishment would you give up for?
Yeah.
And so someone asked, the youth group that when I was in youth group, it's just like, imagine, you're getting that one thing you've always wanted, that one accomplishment, that one girlfriend, that one boyfriend, that wedding, whatever it may be. It's like, what if someone said, hey, I can make that a reality?
Yeah.
All you got to do is walk away from the faith. It's like, would you do it? And I think if you're asking yourself that in an honest moment, there will probably be a twinge of, I think I might, because like there's some great stuff out there. And so we can trick ourselves into thinking that great stuff is better than the things that God has for us, which is kind of the last point, is like idolatry is taking a good thing and making it an ultimate thing.
That's the tricky part about this, is because when we think about sin, we think about bad things, lying, murder, lust, whatever. And idols take good things and distort them to become greater than they are. God, one of the things I love in the Screw Tape letters.
Oh, I was about to talk about this.
Is the junior demon is talking to the senior demon, and senior demon's giving some advice. And one of the things they say is, the senior demon's like, we've yet to figure out how to invent a pleasure. We're still working on it, but we haven't invented one yet. He says, our enemy has, which he's talking about God. Only God has invented pleasures. And so all we can do right now is distort them, give them too much of it, or twist it, or whatever. And so what's revealing in that is that pleasures are from God. He wants us to have them. There's a great line of a book, just the book title, and it's a pun of this song, old hymn, that the things of earth will grow strangely dim.
Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look clear on his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim
in the light of his glory and grace.
Yeah.
And the book's title is things like strangely bright.
Strangely bright.
They grow strangely bright. The things of earth, I think it's just called things of earth, but the whole idea is that they grow strangely bright. And so the point is that when pleasures are from God, and when you receive them and enjoy them in the right way, in the right time, and the way God has meant for them to be, they are a joy. And you get to enjoy God through the gift of the pleasure of the thing he has given you.
Yeah.
And that's good. The problem is we elevate it to, this is the end. This is the ultimate. This is the thing that's going to make everything. Well, now you've taken it out of the good place that God wants it, and how it was made to be used, and you've put on it a weight that it can't bear. And so it falls and crumbles under the weight. And so another author talks about it like this. He says, Jesus plus something equals nothing. So if you're like, I like Jesus, but also I need this thing, whatever that is, in the end, you get neither. You don't get God or the thing. But if you think Jesus plus nothing, just Jesus and I don't need anything else, then in the end, you get everything. And so take the idol and lift it up. You don't get the idol or God in the end. Just trust and rest in God. Then in the end, you get God, and you get all the joys of the world too.
Yeah. I think this is Keller too, talking about, enjoying the good things that God has given us in the way and in the time and within the boundaries that God has given them. We like to think we should, this is just like Western individualism and like self, sufficiency and all those things. Like if I want something, I should be able to have it and have it now.
Yeah.
It's like we're like Veruca Salt in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's like, and we think we have that, we have that right? Because we're autonomous adult human beings, right? We should we should be able to do whatever we want, like whenever we want to do it.
Yeah.
And as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, it's probably okay. And so it's like the only boundary is ours. And Christians come and we say, no, that's like actually God has put boundaries on things, and people think that's constraining.
Yeah.
And Keller talks about how where is a train more free? On the road or on the track?
Yeah.
Or where is the fish more free? On the beach or in the ocean?
Yeah.
It's like we were actually made to enjoy these things in the way that God has given them to us, in the timing that God has given them to us, in the season that God has given them to us. And that's actually where real freedom and flourishing happens. When we try to take the power into our own hands, we end up like the train on the road. We can't go anywhere or enjoy anything, or the fish on the beach.
Yeah. I think the two obvious examples of this are sex and alcohol.
Yeah.
So you alcohol, there's one place in the Bible God condemns alcohol, and he condemns it for not being strong enough.
Come on.
And so he never condemns drinking, only drunkenness. And so alcohol, Paul tells Timothy to drink some for his stomach. It's good for you. And so the only, alcohol is this gift from God to be enjoyed. The problem is we abuse it.
And we know that's true because God made it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't just mean like because God made everything. I mean literally.
Jesus, water in the wine. And so we should enjoy it, but the problem is we overindulge, and when you overindulge, it affects you too much, and it creates havoc and chaos. Sex is the same way. Sex is designed to be experienced between one man and one woman in the covenant of marriage, and the safety of their new oneness. But we take it early. We distort it in all kinds of different ways, or different people, early, whatever, and it wreaks havoc in people's lives because that's not how it was meant to be used. And so it's almost like I'm trying to think of an example of like taking a tool, and let's say a lot of times like you're working construction and like you don't have a hammer nearby, and so you pick up your drill and start using it as a hammer or whatever. It's like you do it, and maybe the nail goes in.
Break your hammer,
but now
break your drill.
Yeah, your drill's broke. And so you got to use the thing for what it was intended.
Yep. I think that's all helpful. And so, that's like I think the bad news of Hosea, right? Is that which we didn't even talk about this. Gomer is like straight up the ugliest name ever, right?
Yeah.
That's terrible. Yeah. That's a terrible name.
Yep.
So anyway, so that's like we see this in Gomer, and that she is, running off and being actually adulteress, pointing to our spiritual adultery, particularly to our idolatry. And then it all culminates in this moment where your point was our relationship with God is a redeemed marriage, which we see kind of particularly in this moment of like the Gomer being like put on for sale. So expand on that and kind of land the plane there.
Yeah. We don't know how she's ended up here, whether it's she owes debts or, she's owned by someone else who's selling her, but whatever the case may be, Hosea comes and he literally empties the cupboards. He takes the bread out of his cupboards and all the money that he presumably has and comes out there and just throws it all out there. Max bid, give her back to me, buys her back. And in the other chapters, like God is saying, about his children, because all of his children's name kind of reveals something. And the third child is...
Yeah, they're like Puritan names.
Kind of. The third child is not mine, or not my people. And God says, you will be my people again. You will no longer be not my people. You'll be my people. And I will be your God. And so the whole idea is he buys her back. And now, not to be his slave, but to be his wife again. And I don't remember who I got this from, but this series of questions that the Jews would have asked was just mind-boggling to me. It's just fascinating. Like, so they would say, hey, we see God's people commit a great sin. Right? Gomer commits a great sin. We see God's people commit a great sin. We see, and there was something before that, like whatever it was. But then the last question was, we see God pay a great price. Or we see Hosea pay a great price. Where do we see God? We don't ever see God do that. We see all these other examples. We see it's like a marriage. We see the sin, all these things. But where do we see God pay a great price? We hadn't done it yet, or they didn't see it when it was there. And so we see God pay the great price in God himself coming and giving his own life. And I didn't talk about this, but I was just kind of reflecting on this afterward and thinking about this. What is something worth? What's worth what you're willing to pay for it? And I almost used this illustration, but I didn't want to make the person who put this in the auction upset. But you remember when you bought like that monkey thing at the auction? It was like, it's apparently worth like $500 or something.
Yeah, I looked it up on eBay.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's one of these selling for $500. So I bought it.
Yeah. And no one has bought it from you?
It's in my closet, bro.
Yeah.
It's in my future nursery closet. I'm about to have to move that thing. It'll be scaring the baby.
And so, people can say it's worth this, but it's actually only worth what someone's willing to pay for it.
You should have said that. That would have been funny.
And so the question is, what are you worth? Well, you're worth what someone was willing to pay for, and God was willing to pay his own life.
Yep.
So you're worth a lot.
Yep. He didn't just empty the cupboards, right? Emptied himself.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good line.
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't you give me that?
That
before?
wasn't for, I thought you said something like that.
No, I just said something about the cupboard now. I didn't say anything about the cupboard in the
I thought you did.
God didn't just empty the cupboard. He emptied himself, bro. That's good.
I really thought you said that.
No.
Because I remember you talking about how him, paying the weird price he pays.
Yeah.
It's like shekels and
I'm sure I said something like that, but that just had a good little ring to it.
Yeah. No, I think I got it from you. No, I think that image, right, that scene is so powerful. And I think when you just take a moment to think, yeah, Hosea is so heroic, so righteous to go do that. But you would never say that if you applied it today, right? If you think about a wife that goes off and is just continually being unfaithful to her husband, and then the husband giving up everything, his house, his job, his car, whatever, to go, we probably wouldn't look at that and think it's, heroic, or we'd think it's like, we'd probably say that's reckless.
Oh yeah.
Corey Asbury, shout out. But to think that is the level at which God sacrificed for us when we were probably even more spiritually adulterous than we can even conceive in our head.
And it's so interesting to me in all the situations I've ever been in, and I'm in one right now where, a marriage is split up, someone's left, someone's cheated on someone, they're struggling, whatever. All the people around them tell the person, you should leave, give up on them. You're worth more than that. And it's easy to think that, that's the advice God should get. These people aren't worth it. These people keep screwing up all these things, and God's not listening to those voices, presumably. But he's, nope, she mine. I'm going to get her.
So. That's good. Any final words on Hosea?
I don't think so.
All right, we'll end it there. Thanks for joining us for the recap. We hope this conversation has encouraged you to keep striving to make Jesus essential in every aspect of your life. If you aren't part of our church family, we'd love to meet you on a Sunday morning. We gather for worship at 10:30 a.m. For more information, you can always go to myfellowship.church. Thanks for listening. Be blessed.